President Trump today said people all over Asia are in love with the United States because of the U.S. agreement with North Korea. The president said the U.S. has made tremendous progress with North Korea, and he added the total denuclearization of the Korean peninsula has already begun. Joining me now is Larry Haas, Senior Fellow for U.S. Foreign Policy at the American Foreign Policy Council. Larry, welcome to the program.
Nice to be here.
President Trump tweeted this week, "Funny how fake news, in a coordinated effort with each other, likes to say, I gave so much to North Korea because I met. That's because that's all they have to disparage. We got so much for peace in the world, and more is being added in the finals, even got our hostages remains." How should we view the North Korea summit? A poll came out today saying almost 60% of people think that it was a good thing.
Well, you know, not surprisingly, Americans agree with Churchill, which is jaw is better than war. So I'm not surprised that Americans support the fact that he met with the North Korean leader. But the president's comments really are quite overblown. I don't think the United States got anything out of this. The North Koreans got quite a bit. Legitimacy for their ruthless regime and a U.S. decision to suspend war games with South Korea. Our allies in the Pacific are very worried about where this is going. We've got a lot of troops there. We've got a massive presence there. We secure the peace there, and they're concerned about what the president may give up down the road.
But don't you think that opening dialogue with Kim Jong-un is a step in the right direction?
It depends. It's certainly not a step in the wrong direction, but claiming credit is very premature. We have had these dialogues in the past. We have had
not on this level.
No, but we have had a series of commitments by North Korean leaders that they would fully denuclearize. More than one commitment over the course of the last few decades. And it has never come to pass, which explains why I'm very skeptical that it's going to come to pass here.
The other issue that many Christians and others are talking about is that North Korea is currently holding as many as 120,000 people in gulags.
Right.
They are working them to death, essentially.
That's exactly right.
So as talks continue, should the discussions place more of an emphasis on human rights abuses?
Well, this is really quite ironic because you'll remember that the president was complaining about the Iran nuclear deal, that it only dealt with nuclear weapons and did not deal with all the other activities that the Iranians partake in, including abusing their own people on human rights. And I do find it really quite an absence here, an omission of what we really should be talking about. This is the most ruthless regime on the face of the earth. And the fact that the president met with the young North Korean leader and did not make a big deal about human rights, I think violates the credo and the tradition of the United States, which after all, over the course of time, promotes freedom and democracy around the world. We're proud of that, and this president doesn't take it seriously.
Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. That could be something that the Trump administration is thinking about while doing this. Larry, thank you. Larry Haas, thank you so much for joining us, giving us your viewpoint on the North Korea issue. Senior Fellow for U.S. Foreign Policy at the American Foreign Policy Council.
Thanks for having me.